What are some things, let's say somebody out there is going through suffering. What are some Bible passages you might point them to for comfort? We've talked about the sources of it. We've talked about how other people, comparison is the thief of joy sometimes. Someone gets on Instagram and looks at all these just massive houses and beautiful boats and people traveling, and they think, man, my life is rough. But comparison can also be the bringer of joy if you're comparing your life with those people in the Old Testament that suffered, and you say, look, if I ever have to suffer, I can do it like that. But what about comfort to somebody? Maybe there's someone watching that's got cancer, it's terminal, and they're like, what do I do? What are some passages that are comforting?
Yeah. Go to 2 Corinthians 1, 3-7. I might not read all of it. Blessed be the God and the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort those who are in any trouble with the comfort which we ourselves are comforted by God. So we're like, tonight, even last night, we were entering this hurricane season, and some of it's kind of hitting us in Mississippi, but Megan, my wife, was helping me go over my notes, and she had heard this quote, why do we go through hard times and suffer? And someone had told her, where was God during hard times? And he's like, he was right where he was when Jesus was on the cross.
Yep.
And just like a hurricane season, in the morning, the sun comes out. So a little analogy.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's what you said about Jesus is beautiful because the sun will come out, and spiritually speaking, that's heaven. That's, when you die, you go to paradise till judgment day. You're in heaven for eternity. The Revelation 20 and 21 talk about the brightness. There won't be need for a sun because God's there. Yeah. You're not going to need a sun. The brightness of his glory is going to be there and illuminate everything. And when someone goes through hard times, kind of what you said about Jesus, I heard someone once say, it was a woman who lost her son. And she said, God doesn't know. Why would God do this? He doesn't know what it feels like. And the person talking to him says, he knows exactly what it feels like. Yeah. He gave up his son. His son wasn't taken from him. He didn't know that it wasn't coming. His son, he gave up his son.
For us.
Yeah. I keep thinking of Abraham in the Old Testament. We talked about this in a previous episode. God tests Abraham, says, take Isaac, sacrifice him. And Abraham says, yes, sir. And he goes and he's about to do it, and God stops him. And Abraham even told his son, when the son said, where's the ram? The Lord will provide a sacrifice. He did not know how prophetic that was, because God stopped him from offering his own son. And on that same Mount Moriah, 1,500 years later, God provided the sacrifice of offering his son for the salvation of mankind.
Right. The same verse, 2 Corinthians 1:4, talks about God's going to comfort us in that tribulation. It also says that there's a point to that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God. I understand that there's a context to that, but the principle of that is also applicable to us. As we go through trials, we learn certain things, we grow, we overcome things. James talks about this, right? What is it? It's James, let's see, let me go back here. 1:2, my brother count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing that the trying of your faith worketh patience, and let patience have her perfect worth, that you may be perfect and entire. The point is, going through hard times will build us up in ways that comforting times can't, in ways that peaceful times can't. I mean, I guess those hard times help you to build certain aspects of your character, your integrity, your determination, your willpower, your endurance. That's going to help you to help other people go through those things later on as well, back to what you were saying in 2 Corinthians.
There's an interesting, in the book, I've been studying the book of Ecclesiastes, and in Ecclesiastes, I think it's chapter 7 and verse 2 maybe, it says, it's better to go to the house of mourning than the house of feasting. And you're like, what? He talks about it's better to go to like a funeral than to a party. And the gist he's getting at is when you think about sorrowful things, it gets you to think about perspective in life. Like, where am I going after I die? Like, what is really important? When you go to a party, nobody's thinking about, hey, what am my life? What am I doing here? What is my life accounting of? And that's, I think, what Solomon's getting at. And we're about to end the episode, but we all three work with Don Blackwell. You want to talk about a guy that knows what suffering is real? About a year and a half ago, Don had a four-wheeler accident, and from the armpits down, he's paralyzed now. I have never seen a guy go through that sort of pain and come out the other side. Yeah, he struggles, but he trusts God, and he puts his faith in him. Yeah. And if you want to watch something after this episode, go watch his sermon called Frailty of Life. Frailty of Life that he gave at Polish in the Pulpit. That puts things in perspective.
I think it's on our app.
It's on our app,
so.
And it's on YouTube if you can't find it, Okay, it'll be on the app. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to the Authentic Christian Podcast. This podcast is sponsored by the Gospel Broadcasting Network, or GBN for short. You can hop on the App Store, search Gospel Broadcasting Network, and you can download the app. And there's this show, many other great shows that you can watch or listen to. Start learning more about the Bible and why we're here, what our purpose is.